I don't know what it is we're watching right now, but welcome in. You can see Max over here on the screen. It's Catfish and Ice. It's episode 259 with Chad Minton and Max Greenberg. We are back here for another live watch-along edition, and boy, did we pick a good one. They like to call it Shark Week here in Smashville, but I don't know. Like, I remember the Shark Week I remember used to be a lot more entertaining than what this Shark Week edition I'm looking at here. Because, and I said this, I teased this before this game started. You can go look at my Twitter right now. I sent this a couple hours before. I did not feel good about this game going in because I don't trust this team. They got they're riding only their second 3-game winning streak of the entire season, which is nothing to gloat about, nothing to be proud about at all. But we were feeling good. There's some mojo. There are some good things happening and starting to be built that me and Max are about to get into during this live watch on. But we are joining Nashville Predators versus San Jose Sharks. It's first intermission. And the Preds are down 4-1. They give up 3 really quick goals. Before we get into that, Max, how you doing, man? Besides all of that stuff, it's good to see you, bro.
I mean, you talk about Shark Week. Right now, I feel like we're in Shark Tank where we go in front of the judges and they always say, nope, I'm out. I'm out. Horrible analogy, but about as horrible as this game has been so far for the Preds. It's absolutely terrible. And besides this game, I'm doing just fine, but good Lord. I mean,
that's a really good. Let's switch it to Shark Week, and we're in the Shark Tank. I like that.
Yeah,
That's a very good point.
That might have been the worst 20 minutes all year, and that's saying something for this team.
It really looks like this game looks like they were all like laying around in the hotel room, and Andrew Burnett came banging on the doors and saying, "Hey guys, we had a game in 30 minutes," and everyone jumped out of the beds. They're like, "Oh, we thought the game was tomorrow." That's what this feels like.
Yeah, it's just amazing how, and I'm not trying to make excuses for the Preds. It's just amazing how teams in general just play down to competition like this. It's just unreal. And in the case of the Preds, they haven't been a good team, haven't been able to sustain success, whatever. It's just, this is a game that if you're building something, you should win this game. And they're clearly not.
I mean, look, for all the people, and I've got plenty of friends in my circle, and people we interact with on social media. It's a large portion of the fan base. They want to see the Preds not overperform in this second half of the season because they want that top 10 draft pick. They want that top 5 draft pick, quite frankly. Just as recently as a few days ago, I don't know how much it's changed, but the website Tankathon, which always tracks the odds for first overall picks and all this stuff and who has the most odds for all these sports. It's a cool website. You should check it out. But they've got the Preds, or no, actually it's money, but Tankathon thinks that the Preds are still like in a good slot to finish top 5 to get a draft pick. But Money Puck actually gives the Preds, this is going to really make you feel sad. Money Puck gives the Preds a slightly better chance. When I say slightly, I mean like around approximately 5% chance to make the playoffs over their 4% chance to get the first overall pick. So, Max, I'm going to ask you straight up. I'm coming guns blazing right now. You can only pick one or the other. You know where I'm going with this. Would you rather get the first overall pick or would you rather make the playoffs? And caveat, if you make the playoffs, you don't know what happens. They make the playoffs and anything can happen. I'm not saying they make the playoffs and they lose in the first round. I'm saying they make the playoffs. They go on a run with Stamkos, with Forsberg, what would you take?
If you're going that extreme, I'm going playoffs, no question. And for me, basically my answer comes down to, look, like I understand the crowd of people who want to tank for a first overall pick. I get, what that would do. But look, well, first of all, these teams just don't think that way. They don't. And I very much understand that, hockey and, sports in general, it's always a situation of trying to be 1-0 every night. It's their job to go out and win these games. So I want to see the team play good hockey. I'm never going to get mad at the team for playing well and winning, even if, there are certain times maybe I would think it's better to lose, but I'll never get mad at the team for playing good hockey. So yeah, preferably I'd love for the team to win. I'd love for the team to get together, go on a deep playoff run, all that. But yeah, I mean, I just want to see good hockey played. So to answer your question, maybe it's not the best move long term. I don't know, but if I had a choice, I would like to see this team win games.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm old school. I'm the same way, but this season has really tested me. I'm going to be honest. I've always been the same. I've had the same belief system as you just laid out there, Max. I've always been the type where I'm not getting caught up in draft picks. I'm not getting caught up in tanking or any of that stuff. I just want to see the team perform well. But this team has tested me in that old school belief so hard this year because I've never been more wrong and been more like excited about a team and been so let down when it comes to this Predators team. I mean, because they've had so many good teams in the past where you don't really think much about the preseason. Like, I mean, when they got on that run of 8 consecutive years of going to the playoffs, this fan base got spoiled to where we just expected to make the playoffs. And so you didn't really focus so much on, you wanted to win the division. You wanted to not have to squeak into a wild card. But really, for a long time there during that playoff streak, and Johnny, our good buddy who's commenting, and we'll share some of his comments here, he could attest to this. The playoffs kind of became a given, and you just were focused on, let's just get in, and then let's try to win a first-round series. But now the expectations were so lifted because of what happened in the offseason with all these signings and stuff, and just riding the momentum of what they did last year to ride into the playoffs. And they, quite frankly, should have beaten the Vancouver Canucks in that first-round series. The offense just completely hit a roadblock and couldn't do anything. But be that as it may, the expectations were so high, and I've never been so wrong and so let down. And so now they're starting to show some good things, but we're past the midway point now. And so this whole my old school mentality has been tested, Max. I want to be just like you. I want to take the playoffs option. But
I mean, you kind of saw I didn't answer that question totally. I'm being a little tested too, as much as I'm saying
but a first overall pick, this franchise has never had a first overall pick.
I mean, and granted, the biggest reason I answered that question you said so confidently was because you mentioned the part of the playoff run. But when it comes to the wild card, it's going to be tough to get excited for that. And yeah, again, still, I will not be mad at this team for playing good hockey if they manage to finally do that over the course of several games like they did last year. But still, it's at some point, it's what? Yeah, it's keeping you in a terrible spot. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're in the first intermission. The Preds are down 4-1. The lone goal scorer for the Preds is Tommy Novak, which was a good play. I got to throw some love to. I always give Luke Shin a lot of crap because he always likes to fire those shots from the blue line. It usually never ends in anything but a odd man rush the other way. But that actually did create this opportunity for Novak to find the goal, find the puck, and score. But unfortunately, the Sharks are exploiting them defensively. They've got speed. They've got swagger. They're playing. The Sharks are playing like a team that has nothing to lose. The Preds are playing like a team that's waltzing in like they just don't care. Quite frankly, is what I'm seeing out of this. And it's when you watch this and you get invested in a team and you see them give us that garbage in the first period, when you know that this team should be playing with their backs against the wall, because that's exactly where this team is at, and you see that garbage in the first period, it makes you want to throw your hands up and be like, you know what? I agree with all those fans that want to see this team tank. I'm going to jump on their side now, because that just squashes all the hope you ever have when you see that type of first period. Now, we're going to watch this game with you in episode 259 of Catfish and Ice. We're going to watch along. There's 2 more periods to go. Is it completely insurmountable, especially with the way that first period looked? There was a lot of open ice. I will give you that. Is it possible that the Preds could score a couple goals in the second period, play a clean sheet on defense, and go into the third period? That's kind of my thought process right now. If they can score 2 in the second period and hold San Jose to nothing and go into the third period with it 4-3, I might lean towards I like the Preds' chances to pull it out. I really do. So I'm not completely throwing this out the door yet that as far as the Preds being able to win this game, but that defense looked horrible. Saros does not look like he's ready to overcome their mistakes. So I'm not going to give him a free pass either. So it just looks like the team's not ready to play tonight.
Not much more can add. I mean, it all just looks bad. And there were a good few more chances towards the end of that first period. And I was actually about ready to go into the intermission thinking, okay, this team is starting to play a little better, but that horrible turnover by Justin Barron that led to the goal. I mean, those are the kind of plays that just erase all the good that happened. And so, just when you piece it all together, it's just a disaster opening period for the Preds. And I don't know what else to say.
Well, I'm about to share the first intermission stats from NHL.com on the screen. For our YouTube and Facebook viewers, thank you for watching. Hit subscribe. Join in on the live chat. This is what makes these watch-alongs great because it's like we're all hanging out in the room together and watching a game together. That's what we do these episodes. And we are presented by DraftKings and Game Time with our promo codes THPN. I just quick story, full disclosure. I'm going to the Tampa Bay Lightning Ottawa Senators game on February 4th because I do live down here in Tampa, and I'm excited about that game. But my buddy had never used Game Time before, and so he used our promo code THPN and got $20 off the tickets. It was that easy. So full disclosure right there, it's that easy. And so take advantage of that, hockey fans, if you're listening right now. And if you've not used Game Time, get on there right now and take advantage of that and get $20 off your first purchase. And then, of course, with DraftKings, you get the $150 in bonus bets. I'm going to tell you more about those promo codes later in the episode. But it looks like the Preds are returning to the ice, and we're about to get the second intermission underway. So when you see me look to my right or to your left, I don't know, on your screen, whatever it is, that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at my TV screen is over that way. But we're going to watch this game with you. We're going to do our battle for the Central Power Rankings tonight for January edition. Mine have changed a lot. I've got a new top dog that I've waited a long time to give him this credit, but I put him on the top of the throne right now. And we'll let you know where we got the Preds at right now. This is before this San Jose Sharks debacle in the first period.
And Justus Onanen is now in net to start the second period.
Oh, good call there, Max. Good catch.
After how Saros looked in that first period, but
hey, we got to get into that too because that's actually a good little mini topic we can just organically talk about right now, and that's what happens during these watch-alongs. Is unlike other episodes that we do for Catfish and Ice, usually we like to set our topics before the game, but naturally topics come up when we do these watch-alongs, and that's a good one to kind of bring up. Is Justus Onanen has done enough in his spot duty in his starts to not just be a back-to-back backup, but actually a 1A, 1B in some cases.
What happened there?
So Max, let's see how Justus Onanen handles 2 periods of hockey, and let's see if he can stop the bleeding, and let's see if the offense can make a comeback. But with that said, I think they're pulling Saros just because when a goalie gives up 4 goals, whether it's all their fault or not.
Oh, my God.
What happened?
Stamkos has got an interference penalty pushing the guy into the goaltender.
And for what I'm seeing, that is a shove.
That's a cross check. I mean, that could have been 2 penalties.
Yeah, I mean,
that's technical.
I don't even know what he's thinking there as a veteran of his stature. I really don't know what he's thinking.
That's a ridiculous play.
I really don't know what he's thinking. So, yeah, I mean, that's not a way that you want to open up the second period at all.
Yeah, that was blatant.
And as a veteran of Stamkos' stature, you got to know not to take a penalty in that situation.
Yeah, that's.
But when it comes to
another bad play.
But when it comes to Justus Onanen, are you in agreement? Because I am. I think that Justus Onanen has really he's outperforming Saros in a much smaller sample size, but he's outperforming Saros right now.
I don't know if I'd say 1A, 1B, just because I know that at the end of the day, Saros is still the starter, and that's not going to change. But I do support making these starts of splitting them up a little more than he should definitely be more than just a back-to-back start, a back-to-back guy, of course, or like a guy who relieves Saros off the back-to-back. But I somewhere in the middle of the two extremes you just said is where I am.
At the very least, 2 of those 4 goals in that first period were not on Saros. You got defensive breakdowns. You've got lackadaisical play in the neutral zone. I mean, the first goal that Macklin Celebrini scored to open the game. I mean, Justin Barron is way too deep in the zone. And then you've got Josi just like camping out there in the neutral zone, and he just couldn't recover. He's not going to catch Celebrini. I know Josi's fast. He's not going to catch Celebrini. You as the captain and as the top pairing defenseman, you cannot let Celebrini get behind you like that.
Well, now the Sharks just took a penalty, so so now the Preds at least escaped that, but
yeah. Well, I mean, at this point, you got a lot of ground to make up. And the Sharks are playing with house money right now. They got nothing to lose.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I'm gonna put the first period stats up there, first intermission, or the stats from NHL.com. So Macklin Celebrini. A lot of people are saying Celebrini can end up being better than Bedard. Those are some hot takes, but I'm just going off of what some people are out there saying. And look at those 2 former Preds haunting the Predators like we're so used to. Luke Cunnin gets a goal, his 11th of the year.
That's crazy.
Luke Cunnin's got 11 goals. He was never a big goal scorer.
He did have that one like half of the year towards the end of 2021 season where he had several good games down that stretch. He had never been the same since then, but he did for a little bit when he was on the Preds. People forget that.
You're right. But yeah, so the Preds do have a power play here carrying over. They got a minute and 30 seconds of power play time. They're in the zone. This is a time where you can score a quick one and make this 4-2. There's a lot of time left in this game, and it seems like a game that's very open ice. There's a lot of open ice out there. So I feel like.
Where are you in the game right now?
I'm at 17. I'm at right at the 17-minute mark of the.
I just passed that right there. We might be literally dead on tonight.
But I feel like this is the type of style of game, at least how it's going right now, where if you're going to make a 3-goal comeback, this is the type of game where you can do it. Neither team is really playing what I would call like staunch defense. Both teams are kind of giving up a lot of ice, giving up a lot of freedom to skate and create things. And so if there's a game where you can make up a 3-goal deficit, it might be this one, but obviously the margin for error for the Predators is razor thin at this point. Let's see if Justus Onanen can like stand on his head and not give up another one. And then maybe the Preds can find a way to just chip away at this lead. There's got a lot of time left to do it. And again, the Preds are really getting in on Georgiev. They're in close on him right now. And they got to just focus on the next goal. Don't focus on being down 3. Focus on getting the next goal. I mean, I know that's a cliche, but that's the mentality you have to have when you're down 4-1, but you're this early in the second period. But Luke Cunning gets a goal. Mikael Granlund, we all remember Mikael Granlund. He makes it 3-0. Tommy Novak does get his 6th goal of the season. to make it 3-1 in the first period. Luke Shin and Zachary LaRue get the assist. And then if you go down a little further, Jake Wallman makes it 4-1 for San Jose. So that was the first intermission. Shots were 15-8 in that first period. The Preds are up against Alexander Gorgiev, the former Colorado Avalanche goalie that we know well, but had some tough times. And the Sharks are back on the power play.
Yeah, careless penalty by Shea. High stick.
It's just, I mean, don't even get me started on Brady Shea right now, man. I might go on a 2-hour
the Sharks just scored.
Wow. So, Max, you're like 5 seconds ahead of me.
Yeah.
And just after I went on that long monologue about not giving up another one, and it's Granlund.
Yep.
Granlund again. Former Predators continue to haunt their former team. And again, I mean, what's a goalie supposed to do?
Yeah.
What's Justus Onanen supposed to do there? Please tell me.
Literally take up the entire net?
Nothing is the correct answer. And the penalty kill for the Predators was once upon a time like leading the league.
Wow. I mean, we've said it more than a few times this year when we've wanted things to happen and they haven't. And we'll probably say it again later, but these are the types of games right here that just make you want to change everything.
Yeah.
I'm at a loss for words right now.
I mean, I thought that this was going to be a dog. I thought I could see this game. I saw this game as being a very hard fought game one way or the other. I didn't think the Preds, I shared it. DraftKings had the Preds. I shared this right before the game started. DraftKings, our sponsor. Overwhelmingly favorites were the Predators, minus 400. That's like, you don't see that in hockey very often. That's an overwhelming favorite. And there's a lot of smart people out there who probably took a ride with the San Jose Sharks, and they're feeling pretty damn good right about now.
There's also a lot of smart people like me who don't bet at all.
Well, that's true too. But my point is, I don't know what the bettors were thinking because to put all this money on the Preds to shake that line, because I saw it coming from a mile away. I really did. This felt like a classic game where the Preds were just going to walk into this and not be serious. And honestly, this comes down to coaching too. Partly. I mean, all you hear Andrew Burnett say all the time is, oh, we're not playing connected. We're not playing present. We're like, what does that even mean? We're not playing present. Like, you're professional hockey players. You should be present every minute of every game. I get it. You're human. You're going to have bad games. You're going to have off games. You're going to have games where you miss the net, where you don't execute perfectly. You're not robots. You're going to make mistakes. But I don't see the effort. There should never be an excuse to not have effort. There should never be an excuse.
Just swing your stick around and just hoping things happen. It's just the attention to detail is just so not there.
Yeah, there's nothing about this game that screams to me that they're having poor execution, and it's just like, okay, they're just having an off night. They're having a bad day at the office. This comes off as this team sleptwalk into this game.
Yeah,
that's what this looks like.
Yeah, I mean, hardly even trying. I mean, looks how a lot of times I would look after a long day of school playing middle school soccer, just coming out tired, ready to just pack it and go home. This is how this looks right now.
How does a team come off from beating Vegas, beating really like blasting Minnesota?
Yeah.
I mean, how does a team do that and turn around and give us this in front of their home crowd, no less? I mean, you saw the comment from Nick Blankenberg, which I'm not trying to like point a finger at Nick Blankenberg here. I'm just going off the comment. But he said, oh, it was so amazing to see the Nashville crowd look like that for the first time. And let me give Smashville a lot of credit. They were loud in that Minnesota game. I was so impressed with how they showed up for that game. It sounded like Smashville. It sounded like old school Smashville, which has not happened very often this year, unfortunately. And then you're going to follow that up. Blackhawks win. We'll take it.
It was ugly.
It took a shootout.
Although that was one that at least towards the end of the game, that was one of those games you could look to and say the execution wasn't there. This one, not at all.
I get that. And the Blackhawks have been one of those teams where they can play spoilers at times. And let me give you that too. The Sharks will definitely be spoilers down the stretch. They will definitely mess up some playoff seedings down the stretch.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's the NHL. Anyone's really good enough to beat each other on any given night.
True.
And if you're going to go into this game just completely lackadaisical and just doing absolutely nothing like the Preds are, you're going to get absolutely punked. And the Preds are getting straight up slapped in the face tonight.
Yep. I agree with that 100%. And so it's a 5-1 game. The Preds have given up
over half of this game left to go.
The Preds have given up 5 goals on 11 shots. 5 goals on 11 shots.
It's embarrassing.
And we're not even at the midway point of this game yet. That is
embarrassing.
I wish I had a record book laying around. I knew how to like quickly look up stuff like that because I would like to see how this ranks among all-time worst starts in a game. But this is what I shared right before the game started. And sometimes I just hate to be validated. I really do. I actually love to be wrong in these types of situations. Like, being wrong is fine with me. Like, but this is what I shared. It's the old school Anchorman meme. There it is right there. I said a 3-game winning streak is cute and all, but until the Preds can show me that they can actually take care of business in games they're massively favored in, I'm going to be skeptical. They've learned the error of their ways. They were a minus 410 money line favorite on DraftKings. But my point is not even the betting part of it, just they were. Most people would, but even so, no one saw this coming. 5-1.
Yeah, so, I know. Like I'm with you, Chad. Like I expected, if anything, it was gonna be a close game between a bad team and a team that shouldn't be this bad, but is. But no, it's just a complete thrashing right now. I mean, it looks like you're making the San Jose Sharks look like cup contenders right now.
I mean, look, I've hinted at this for a while. They're not the same old San Jose Sharks. I mean, they're not. They are, but I'm not. But this is no excuse for how the Preds are playing. But the Sharks are not the same old San Jose Sharks. They're fun. They're fast. They play with house money. They play like they got nothing to lose because they don't have anything to lose. Like they're in a very different position, even though they're in a very similar place in the standings as the Preds are. They're just behind the Preds in the standings. These are two completely different franchises in how they're looking at where they're at right now. The Sharks, we kind of knew who they were.
Yeah.
You know, like, don't tell those players that. They still want to win. But I'm saying, like, the Sharks, they don't have any pressure on them. They're not looked at as failure, or massive failures or underperformers, or no, like they're just kind of doing what they were expected to do. If anything, they're showing that they have a pretty bright future. The Preds are going the opposite direction right now with how they're looking. They're like, even with a 3-game winning streak, I don't care. Like I said, that's cute and all. Like any team can do a 3-game winning streak and get in, but like they can't sustain success. The fact that this team and this roster cannot build more than a 3-game winning streak, and they show us this tonight. I mean, it really like kicks you down a notch because I was starting to buy the Kool-Aid a little bit. I was starting to buy the Kool-Aid a little bit back in like near the Christmas break when we went on that 4-1-1 streak, and I even wrote an article at the time saying, "Hey,
if this is a time that to gain a momentum, this might be it. And this team has a chance to prove it. But then they just went on that road trip and then didn't do well at all. I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right. This team just cannot sustain success. And, going to this, I definitely felt a little more skeptical because I'd seen them not sustain it. But now we're seeing why this team can't sustain success. And we're seeing why they're one of the worst teams in the league this year.
And, that's the mark of a really good team. Is it the mark of a team that's like truly like one of the top tier teams is a team that can sustain success, because it is hard. The NHL is a very hard league to. I mean, just look at the records of the last 10 games throughout the NHL standings. Just look at it. It really tells you a picture of how hard it is to win multiple games in a row. And it really makes you remember that 18-game point streak last year and how, 16-0-2 the Predators went. I mean, to this day, it's still hard for me to wrap my head around that. But, I'll scroll through it right now. Right now on the screen, I'll put it on there. And I'll show you what's the record of the last 10 games throughout all the NHL teams in the league right now. And I kind of looked at it today, and it was it kind of tells you how hard it is to string together long-term success in the NHL, even within 10 games. So, got it right here. I'm gonna scroll in so you can read it. But look, Maple Leafs 7-3, Florida Panthers 5-4-1, Tampa Bay Lightning 5-4-1, Capitals, who are maybe the best team in the league right now. You could make a good argument the Washington Capitals are the best team in the league right now. They're 7-0-3. Then you look at the Hurricanes 6-3-1. The Devils, very popular team to pick right now, 2-5-3. The Senators are a really, really hot team right now. They're fun to watch. I'm excited to watch them play against the Lightning here in a couple weeks. But look, the Bruins are 3-5-2. But you look at some of these teams who you expect to be good. Let's look at the Western Conference. The Jets, 4-4-2. The Wild, 6-4-0. The Stars are starting to come along. But even the Golden Knights, they're 4-5-1. The Kings are 6-4-0. My point is, it's really hard to string together 5, 6, even 4 games in a row. Teams trade wins and losses constantly in this league because it's such a difficult league. But here's the problem the Preds face. They got off to such an awful and historically bad start, their worst start in franchise history, that they can't afford to trade wins and losses like these other teams can anymore. That's the dilemma they face. So these other teams, they can kind of trade wins and losses because they didn't start off in such a bad way like the Predators did. That's the difference.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what to add to that. I'm just so I feel just so drained right now watching this game. I don't even know what to add or say or what.
And that's why so many fans are so focused on just getting a top 5 draft pick at this point, because they don't want to go through this anymore. Because in the end, they just don't have the faith that even if they do go on a magical run, that all it's going to do is just mess up their draft stock.
Yeah.
And the difference between a top 5 draft pick and a pick outside of the top 10 is very drastic when it comes to hitting on that draft pick. When it comes to making, because we've done this on the show before, where we go back, we've looked at the history of Preds draft picks and how many misses they have. And it's not just the Preds. This is all teams. Drafting in the NHL is such an inexact science because you're drafting from all around the world. You're drafting from all these different leagues, internationally speaking, all these leagues in Canada, all these junior leagues. You're drafting from the NCAA ranks. I mean, once you get out of the top 10, for sure, Yeah, you might be picking at 12 and taking a draft pick that's graded, quote unquote, by all these very smart and wise scouts. They might be graded as a top 25 pick, but no one really knows that. Once you get into the top 5 and you start picking those top 5 draft picks, everyone kind of comes into agreement, and it becomes pretty like it becomes a pretty serious belief that you're making the right pick most of the time. So your probability of making a generational talent pick goes up big time once you get in the top 5. So that's where the fans are thinking right now. And so they see a game like this tonight, and it just validates it. And it validates it for me too. Like, yeah, maybe Trotz should just, and this is a topic we're going to get into here in a second, is on a scale of 1 to 10, scale of 1 to 10 for Barry Trotz, thinking about the trade deadline, 10 being heavy buyer, 1 being heavy seller, where should Trotz be at right now? And so let's ask that question right now, Max. 1 to 10. And you can go off of what we're seeing right now.
Going into this game. So wait, are we going 10 as heavy buyer or seller?
10 is heavy buyer. So 10 would be like he's going big game hunting. 1 being you sell everyone.
Oh, well, we just got a goal in the power play. Well, there's that. Svechkov scored.
I love seeing that, by the way. Like, if I can get any silver lining from anything that happens the rest of this season, I want to see Svechkov eat. I want to see LaRue eat. I want to see Willsby eat. I want to see all these guys get all the minutes. I don't care if the team loses 10 in a row. Let these guys feast. Give them the ice time. Give them the ability to show what they're made of. Let them go through the battles. Let them learn how to be an everyday NHL player. That is my mission for the rest of this season. Regardless of whether this team wins or loses, I want to see those guys eat. I want to see them guys out there. And so that's going to give you my answer. I'm kind of giving you my scale of 1 to 10 right now. And this is really, even without this game, I would still say I'll be a similar answer. I think if we're going scale 1 to 10, 1 being heavy seller, 10 being heavy buyer, I'm like down there at like 3 or 2.
Going into this game, I was going to say like 4 or 5. And, mainly because, I thought, if, somehow you do go on a little bit of a streak, maybe you can go out and go big game hunting for some guys who could be for the future that are a little more proven. All that's hypothetical. But after this game, I'd be on the sell whatever you can, like for like your Gus Nyquist, the guys like that. Yeah, games like this just get rid of all hope. So no, I'm down to sell whatever the deadline, like probably 2 or 3 at this point is where I am.
I believe that's Svechkov's 5th goal of the season.
Something like that.
And the thing about Svechkov is he does keep growing in confidence. You've got a little under 7 minutes left in the second period. It's now 5-2. The Sharks still only have 11 shots on goal, Max.
It's insane.
And the Preds have 22 shots on goal. So, I'm really hoping that the way that in the post-game press conference that Andrew Burnett doesn't come out and give us that whole, we played really well and it just didn't work out in our favor. Because that should not. Quick goal.
Okay. Oh, now they're getting our hopes up again.
This is what they do. So is that Justin Barron?
That was.
So he atones for his horrible mistake to give up one of those goals earlier in the game.
I've liked him at least offensively.
That was a good. So what a pass. Was that from Philip Forsberg?
Yeah, it was.
Forsberg served that up on a silver platter. I'm not trying to take anything away from Justin Barron, but Forsberg laid that right on the tape. Gorgiev was already like sprawled out with nothing to do. Both goalies have kind of been left out to dry in this game.
They have, man.
But so the Preds have 3 goals on 23 shots. The Sharks only have 5 goals on 11 shots. I guess one way to save your goaltender is just not give up any more shots. So good job, Preds.
It's crazy. Like you thought about, there's open ice. There's not, the defense isn't really good for either team. Like, anything could still happen in this game. And okay, let me go back earlier to the point we were talking about when it came to like, do we want this team to win or lose games?
Mm-hmm.
And even if this team comes back and wins this game, one of the worst things that you could probably do is play terribly in a game and screw up your draft positions. That could happen this game. Maybe if they go out and play just crazy lights out the third period, I might change my mind a little bit. But like, are these the games you really want to be winning?
Here's how I feel about it. In the end, if you have a good scouting department and you know what you're doing, and you're doing your due diligence to scout players, then you shouldn't be so focused on, oh my God, we have to pick top 5. Otherwise, we're just going to screw up this draft pick. So even though what I was just saying, I still believe in, like, yes, your odds of picking a generational player drastically go up if you're picking top 5 or definitely top 3. At the same time, if you're confident in your front office, so I'm thinking about Barry Trotz here. If Barry Trotz is confident in his front office, if he's confident in his scouting department, then you should just be thinking about, okay, let's just keep winning. Because here's the caveat to all this. Do you want these prospects that are playing to get used to losing, or do you want them to get used to winning? Think about the trade-off here. Yeah, you might lose some draft position if you win down the stretch and you still miss the playoffs and all that. And you ruin your draft position a little bit. But think about how beneficial it could be to these younger players like Svechkov and LaRue if this team goes on a heater and they're a big part of that. It could be beneficial to them past this year. I think fans get too caught up in just this year sometimes. They don't think enough about like building something into next year. And this team is built to where they're not going to go into a massive rebuild next year. Because for one, they have good cap space to make moves. And 2, their prospect pool is arguably top 10 in the league. They're definitely top half of the league. So they're going to reload. Trotz is going to reload. He's going to ship some guys off that aren't working out anymore. So the team is going to look different next year. But there's not a lot of free agents. There's Gus Nyquist, and that's it when it comes to unrestricted free agents.
Yeah.
So the only players that aren't going to be on this team anymore next year are going to be the players that Trotz decides to trade, is my point.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's not.
Or waive. He could waive. It could come to a point where he waives some of these guys too.
Could. I mean, hopefully we don't get another like Dante Fabro style waiving, but you never know.
All right, let's get in DraftKings here. Our DraftKings promo code THPN, and of course the NFL playoffs is in high gear, and they have not disappointed. I had a great time watching the NFL playoffs this past weekend. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson had a head-to-head matchup for the ages. Josh Allen got over the hump, but that was really cool to see those two guys shake hands at midfield after the game. Massive respect to Lamar Jackson. I've always had respect for Lamar Jackson. He plays the game the right way. So does Josh Allen. Those two shook hands in the middle of the field because they know they're two of the best quarterbacks for this generation right now. But that was just one of the games. How about Jaden? What's his name? Jaden Daniels, rookie quarterback for the Commanders. I mean, we're witnessing like one of the best rookie quarterbacks to ever play in the playoffs right now. So the NFL playoffs is not disappointing. So playoffs, yes, we're talking about playoffs. You bet we are. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Scoring touchdowns is key to winning in the playoffs. And you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score 6. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. Let's tell you about DraftKings right now and what they're saying about the NFL playoffs coming up. It's the conference championship games that are coming up. So we got to get into that and tell you what the odds are right now. The Commanders at the Eagles, 4 days and 17 hours away is what DraftKings is telling me. And right now, the Eagles are a minus 285 favorite, so a pretty heavy favorite. The spread is -6 in favor of the home team Eagles. And then the AFC Championship game also on January 26th is the Bills at the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going for the three-peat. And right now, that is a much closer spread than the NFC Championship game. You've got a -1.5 point spread in favor of the Chiefs, according to DraftKings, a -125 money line favorite in favor of the Chiefs on DraftKings. And of course, you can bet on the touchdown scores. Josh Allen, you can bet on Josh Allen to score the first touchdown. You can bet on Travis Kelce to score the first touchdown. That's what DraftKings has in store for you. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. You get a boatload of bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-HOPENY or text HOPENY. 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available. For problem gambling, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. I'm excited, Max, about what did I miss? What did I miss there?
That there was a penalty on Willsby that I thought was kind of ticky-tacky. I mean, it wasn't a horrible call. I thought he got puck a bit before he tripped him, but whatever. I mean,
Andrew Burnett doesn't like it, clearly. I see the look on his face.
Yeah.
So Sharks going on a 2-minute power play there. They're up 5-3, 3 minutes left in the second. Suddenly, the game doesn't feel completely out of reach. If the Preds could figure out a way to score another one in these last 3 minutes, you'd really feel good about their chances. But what did I say, Max? I said that if the Preds can win this period, I'm going to feel really good about it. I think I said if they could score 2.
But you also said that you have to hold the Sharks to nothing.
I know. This game is completely unpredictable. I'm sorry, Max.
I mean, again, it's still anyone's game at this point. I mean, as bad as
you're right, though. It was 4-1. You're right. When I said that, it was 4-1, and now it's 5-3.
Still could come back and win this game. And now, whether or not you really feel better if they win this game, I don't know. But they could still come back and win this game. Granted, they got a whole minute 20 to kill in this power play still for San Jose, so it's got to do that. And again, it's probably not going to happen. But again, it could happen. You never know.
All right, so as we watch this, we're going to get to the there we go. Good glove save from Justus Onanen.
Yep.
He's a big body. He covers a lot of ground, and the Sharks are starting to put a lot of pressure on him. So that was a good sequence from him there. I don't want to jinx him because there's still 1:17 left on the Sharks power play, but that was a really good sequence there. So the Sharks are now up to 13 shots on goal. The Sharks have really shown you that it's quality over quantity tonight.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
But we're going to save some topics for the second intermission here. We're going to finish watching this 2 minutes first, live reaction, watch along. But then we want to talk about Philip Forsberg's 5-game goal streak he's got going on right now, which followed up his 18-game goal drought. Is Forsberg back? Is he getting hot at the right time? I said for a while that this guy didn't just magically forget how to score goals. So it's good to see him firing it back up. Also, Cole Smith is back tonight. What does he do for the lineup? Well, what we're seeing tonight is not a whole lot, but I don't want to hold a lot against him because he's probably rusty. He's been on IR for a long time. He was swapped in for Mark Jankowski, which I feel like that's just like a swap, 1-for-1 swap. I don't really see you losing one way or the other when you swap those guys out. I don't know about you, Mac.
Yeah. I think certainly Smith gives you more physicality, but that's really the only.
I would argue that maybe Jankowski gives you a little bit more offense, but it's very marginal.
Yeah, I wouldn't get hung up on that part of it.
They're bottom 6 guys either way.
Yep.
Bottom 6 guys that I have a big feeling that some of these guys are not coming back next year.
Yeah, I mean,
not to say that it's all their fault why this team's where they're at, but that's usually what happens first is you see the bottom 6 get changed because it's easier to move those guys. And if you're looking to make room for your prospects that are coming up, those are the guys you move out.
Yep.
I mean, it's just that simple.
Yep.
But the Preds do kill that San Jose power play to at least keep a glimmer of hope to make a comeback in the third period, which is very doable. Like I said, this game has been wide open ice. This hasn't been one of those classic grit your teeth, grind it out. There's no room on the ice to make a move. This has been the exact opposite of that.
Yeah, no, it's just been a ton of offense.
So you get to the second intermission here. You're down. If you get to the second intermission here and you're down 5-3, you light a fire under your ass if you're the Predators and you think, okay, we can score 2 goals in a period. That's not an insurmountable thing to do. It's, scoring 2 goals in a period should not, especially in today's NHL, scoring 2 goals in a period should not be an impossible mountain to climb. So let's buckle up our chin straps. We've played like shit the entire game. Let's buckle up our chin straps. Let's score a couple goals in the third period. Let's figure out a way to win this game. So we're here for you here.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Max, how do you feel about Forsberg's game? Do you think what do you think is really fueling it? Do you think it's just luck? Do you think the puck luck's finally bouncing his way, or do you think the team is really changed how they're playing? Like, I don't know.
I mean, Forsberg's still a great player as he always was. Like you said, he didn't just magically forget to score goals. Every player goes through a bit of a funk. It happens. And, even through Forsberg's goal drought, he was still racking up assists like crazy, more than an assist per game. He's finding ways to show up, even if, even if he's not scoring goals. And, maybe it's a little bit of luck now with him, scoring, 6 goals, I believe 6 goals in the past 5 games, not counting tonight or whatever it is. But yeah, Forsberg's doing what he normally does. He's still a great player. And again, guys like that. And one thing I've noticed about him, he's grown so much as a playmaker since, Andrew Brunette was hired, and he's finding ways to get things done. And, great players, one of the things I've learned over time, there's a lot of ways that you can, make excuses for certain players not performing in certain situations, but great players always find a way to show it, even in any situation. And Forsberg, even in a situation where he's not scoring, still found a way to, create plays and get assists. So like,
he was piling up.
I'm not shocked at all that Forsberg is starting to score again. We knew he would. It was just a matter of when. And he's a great player. And he even not through 18 games we didn't score, he still showed it.
Yeah, and that's the mark of a great player. When a typical goal scorer is not scoring goals, and you go through a 18-game goal drought, it was weighing on him. He was probably keeping him up at night. But the fact that he battled through that 18-game goal drought by still figuring out a way to get his teammates involved, piling up the assists, it's a testament to really how he's a veteran leader, and he's evolved into that. And now he's got a 5-game goal streak. So let's get caught up on some comments here. So we got a lot of our friends joining here. Nikki, our good friend Nikki, jumps in and she says, "Sell, sell, sell." LOL. Yeah. A lot of people are on your side, Nikki, on that one as far as the trade deadline, which is around a month and a half away. But let's see what Trotz does there. Redemption jumps in and says Fedor's 5th goal of the season. Tooth Tiger. Haven't seen you in a while. Says, I can hardly wait to see almost everyone on this roster gone. Exclamation point. Good to see you, Tooth Tiger. Haven't seen you in a while. Let's see. What else? Predemption jumps in and says, Barron turnover led to the Wallman 4-1 goal too.
Yep.
Yeah, rough night for Justin Barron. Justin Gambino's in here and saying hi to everybody. But yeah. Predemption also jumps in and says the Preds did trail 4-1 to Vegas during the point streak. Anything is possible tonight versus the Sharks. You know what? Johnny, who is Predemption, is always the historian in the encyclopedia. I would have never remembered that. I would have never remembered that the Preds trailed 4-1 to Vegas during last year's point streak.
And I was at that game when that happened. It was unbelievable.
My brain kind of pushes stuff out as it moves on. Like I get new information and old stuff goes out. But good catch there, Johnny. But you're right. You're down 5-3. As I just said, scoring 2 goals in a period should not be an insurmountable mountain to climb. Mm-hmm. So let's go out and do it. Let's just buckle up the chin straps and do it. You're kind of lucky you're in this game right now, by the way you've played.
You are lucky you're in this game.
But you got 3 goals to your credit. And we'll see what happens here. Let's tell you about our next sponsor real quick, and that is the Game Time. Pull that up real quick. As I just told you, I used Game Time literally last week to get our tickets to the Lightning and the Senators on February 4th. We got lower bowl seats in Tampa for Tampa and Ottawa for $79 a ticket. And that was by using Game Time. That was before our promo code. So Game Time is there for you. They give you the super deals. They give you the amazing. They tell you what's a good deal. That's how Game Time works. You don't have to worry about, because it's just like the other apps, but you're looking and they're there for you. They got your back. They're going to tell you what's a good deal and what's not a good deal. And when it comes to hockey, of course, live hockey, the sensory action, the smell of the ice, the crispness of the air, the speed of the game, nothing beats your first hockey experience. And there's still a lot of people out there who might like hockey. They might watch it on TV occasionally, but they've never been to a game. And they can go on Game Time right now if they're wanting to go to their first game and enjoy our promo code with THPN. And, of course, Game Time is for all events, not just hockey and sports. It's also concerts, it's shows, it's comedy, it's theater. It's all of that. And also the Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. No one has time for that. No one has time for that. We all got full-time jobs. We're all busting our butts to do things. We don't have time to search through thousands of tickets. Game Time makes it easy. It streamlines everything for you. So let's get on Game Time right now. I'm going to pull it up on my phone, and let's see what's going on in Nashville right now. Let's go to my hometown. Got a lot of basketball going on right now. MTSU women's basketball, Austin P women's basketball is on there. You've got all the college basketball. You know, there's so many good college basketball teams in Nashville right now. So if you're a basketball fan, you can go on Game Time and find incredible deals on tickets. Vanderbilt basketball, who just beat number 6 Tennessee Vols. They're struggling tonight against the number 4 Alabama Crimson Tide, but the last time I checked, the SEC basketball conference is like ridiculously stacked. So every game you pretty much play a top 10 team. But Vanderbilt basketball is looking good right now. They are trending on Game Time right now. So they are a hot ticket to go see Vanderbilt basketball right now. But of course, you got the Nashville Predators, and look at this. Wednesday, January 29th, people. The Nashville Predators host the Vancouver Canucks, and Game Time has tickets as low as $12.
Shouldn't have chosen that game to be one of my ticket plan this year.
There you go, right there. Just to show you what I'm doing, so you don't think I'm faking it. Yeah, so good stuff there. But also with Game Time, Curated deals make it easier to find the best price on great seats. The super deals, seat views before you buy, which is one of my favorite features. You get to see what your seats look like when you get in the stadium. Lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection, job loss protection. And of course, the most important thing is the game time picks, which is the curation, which makes it easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code THPN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Create an account and redeem code THPN for $20 off. Download Game Time. What time is it? It's game time. All right, we're still in the second intermission. We're about to do our battle for the Central Power Rankings for January. I think that is what we should do next. And I'm going to pull up my rankings real quick and put them on the screen. Max, I hear back home in Tennessee that it is like
so
incredibly cold.
It is. Yeah. It's really bad.
I mean, yeah, some family back home told me that the low tonight is going to be like 4 degrees or something like that.
Yeah, it's really bad. It was like 14 this morning.
And, you know, like me being down here in the Tampa Bay area, everyone down here is like bitching and moaning because it's 40 degrees and it's raining and it's cold. Like, because the snow line and the sleet line got really close to Tampa, which is like, that's like some apocalyptic type of stuff there. Like the last time any measurable snow landed in Tampa was like the late 1970s or something like that.
My sister lives in New Orleans, and they just got a ton of snow for the first time since 2009.
Isn't it crazy?
I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I saw videos today of people on Bourbon Street in the French Quarter playing in the snow, building snowmen, throwing snowballs, which is pretty cool. Let's be honest.
Insane.
That's pretty damn cool. And I'm happy for, you know, I think about all those people who have never seen snow and how special that is. And I'm happy for those people, especially the people who've probably had a rough year. Of course, you know, New Orleans had the terrorist attack. Oh, yeah. And so, like, I'm just, like, really happy for those people. I always try to think of the positive in these situations. And, of course, my heart's out to the people who maybe don't have a place to go, and I hope they stay warm. They can find a place to go. But I am happy to see people enjoying the snow who've never seen snow and all that stuff. But, yeah, so crazy stuff going on with the weather right now for sure. But we're going to put our Battle for the Central Power rankings up right now. Let me these are my rankings, by the way, for all of our YouTube and Facebook viewers. And then Max can react to them as he sees them on the screen because we don't share our rankings. It's completely organic. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't.
Interesting to see how this week's going to go.
So here's mine right there. So these are my this is more like midway point rankings, but we're a little past the midway point now. So I have put the Dallas Stars, who I've been waiting all year. They were my preseason #1 team. I have been patient with the Dallas Stars, but I've been saying, you know what, top to bottom, they are the best roster. And since our last rankings, I had them at #4. I've moved them up to #1. If you look at their last stretch of hockey since the last time we did these rankings, they have been the most consistent team in the Central Division. Every one of these teams that we're going to rank has blemishes, have lost to bad teams, have had some bad stretches. So no one can say, oh, well, you lost this bad game, so you suck. No, all these teams have blemishes. That's what makes hockey so good, as we were talking about earlier. But I got the Dallas Stars #1. They're 29-16-1, 59 points on the season. And I've got Winnipeg right behind them. Dallas is also, I think, if I remember correctly, has played 2 or 1 less game than Winnipeg too, which factored in to my rankings. Because if you got games in hand, that matters. But I am going to pull up those standings just to make sure I'm not off on that. But either way, I've got Dallas #1. Even though Winnipeg is #1 in the division with 65 points, Dallas has played 2 less games than Winnipeg. They are 6 points behind them in the standings. But I think when it all comes together, Dallas is going to be the better team than Winnipeg. But I do have Winnipeg right at #2. at 31, 14, and 3 with 65 points. They've played 2 more games than Dallas, as I just said. But when it comes to Winnipeg, for me, they live and die by Connor Hellebuck and then their top line. I mean, they are a deep team, but I think they're going to go as far as Connor Hellebuck will be able to take them because he is playing some of the best individual goalie play we've seen in a long time. I mean, he is dominant. He steals games constantly for the Winnipeg Jets. And that's not to say that Winnipeg doesn't have some great weapons on offense. They do. But that team lives and dies by Connor Hellebuck. So I do have him at number 2, but I think Dallas is a more complete team in a 7-game series. Number 3, I got the Avalanche. I really struggled with Colorado and Minnesota. You could flip-flop those 2 teams. Honestly, I didn't know who to put where, but I'm sticking with Colorado at 28 wins, 19 losses, 1 overtime loss, 57 points. And I dropped from our last rankings, which was a few weeks ago. I dropped Minnesota from number 1 to number 4. They've been very average. If you look at their recent record over the last few weeks, they've been very, very average. And I didn't like what I saw against them against the Preds. I thought they got way out of their element. What did you see out of that game, Max? Just Minnesota and the Preds. I thought that Minnesota played down to the level of the Preds and they didn't show enough discipline.
I mean, the Preds absolutely were the Preds were the better team for the majority of that game. Yeah, the Preds were in control for a long time.
But anyway, so I'll do that. Max is about to give his rankings, but let me finish out mine. So I got Minnesota number 4. I had them number 1 in our last rankings. I still think they're a good team that's going to be in the playoffs, maybe a wild card team based on these rankings. But I have some doubts about them, and I had some doubts about them going into the season, and they proved me wrong. I'll give them that. But I don't know. They've dealt with a lot of injuries lately, and they're kind of going through a little bit of that mid-season slump that a lot of teams go through. So let's see how they respond to that. I'm very interested to see if the Minnesota Wild can keep proving people wrong. Number 5, I got the St. Louis Blues. Again, they are a mystery to me. They keep hanging around that mucky middle. They can play with anybody, but they can also lose to anybody. They're 23, 21, and 4 on the season with 50 points. Last week I had them at number 6. Now I got them at number 5. So they're a bubble wild card team in my eyes. Utah Hockey Club, I got them at number 6. So I almost put the Preds at number 6, and I'm glad I didn't because I would have looked like an idiot tonight. Before this game started, I was like, I really want to put the Preds ahead of Utah, but I couldn't do it because you got an 8-point gap there in the standings. That's just too much for me to disrespect Utah like that. But Utah has been also not playing good hockey lately. And I think the grind of the season is starting to catch up to them a little bit. But I couldn't put the Preds ahead of them. I just couldn't do it. I wanted to. My bias started to creep in a little bit, but I didn't do it. I left the Preds at number 7, and that's validating that by what I'm seeing tonight. So Preds are number 7, 16, 22, and 7 on the season, 39 points. And Chicago is still rocking the basement of the division at 15, 28, and 4 with 34 points. So Max, dissect those rankings. Where are we different?
So I will put a disclaimer that these rankings, I did kind of do them fairly rushed tonight. And I also did notice that there's been a lot of stagnation in the Central Division.
There has been. You're right about
at least,
that.
In the past 10 games. And the past 10 games record is a big point for me when doing these rankings. So my power rankings were very much kind of based on how the current standings are. I had Winnipeg at number 1. This is going to be probably a shock too. I had Minnesota at number 2, Dallas at number 3, Colorado number 4, St. Louis number 5. We agreed. I did put the Preds at number 6 ahead of Utah at 7. So that's not looking so great. And then number 8, I have Chicago.
All right. So you're kind of going with what the standings say right now, which is fine.
And also because of because a lot of these teams have stagnated right now.
They have. You're right. I mean, it really has. I mean, the Central Division you're not really seeing one team just dominate right now. You're seeing a lot of teams trading wins and losses. And I mean, that's the grind of an 82-game regular season. I mean, this just goes to show you how hard it is to dominate in the NHL. I mean, we saw Winnipeg jump out to that fast start. and then they came down to earth a little bit. But you saw Minnesota get off to a good start. They've come down to earth a little bit as well. And that's what it always comes down to is who's going to be able to do it when it counts in the playoffs. But home ice advantage means a lot in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah.
So the difference between being a number 2 seed and a number 3 seed in your division, the way they seed teams, which we can save this for another night, but the playoff seeding for the NHL is under scrutiny a lot. How they seed teams, where they put number 2 against number 3 in each division. A lot of fans don't like that. They think they should go back to the 1 through 8 format. But either way, third period has started here.
Yep.
Preds down 5-3. I think you have to have a really hot start if you're the Preds here. Control the momentum, control the ice, win that zone time, plug away. You can't panic here.
They scored.
Well,
are they really going to do this?
Oh, they calling it back? You are ahead of me, Max, by a little bit. What are they doing?
They called it back.
Are you saying they're calling it back?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, the way you said that, Max, you were scaring me.
Nope. I did not mean to say anything there.
Jonathan Marchessault with his 15th. Well, just as I was saying it, I said they had to control the zone and get off to a fast start. There was no offsides there, right? No. That was just Marchessault winning ice. That's a battle of will and fortitude by Marchessault.
Well, we got a game now.
He overpowered that defenseman there for sure to get that space and score that goal. So major props to Marchessault for winning that ice in deep. Been plenty of space. And look at the Preds. They're honing in now again.
Of course they're doing it now.
We got ourselves a 5-4 game, ladies and gentlemen, here. Not even a full. We're just now a minute into the third period. So, look at that. They're coming in again. Ryan O'Reilly.
God, just when we all think it's going nowhere.
I mean, this is what happens here. But look at this. From the FanDuel Sports Network, they're sharing no points for Jonathan Marchessault on December 30th. Since December 31st, a 9-game point streak. So, okay, I get what they're saying here. So, basically, Marchessault has missed one game from being a 17-game point streak is what they were just sharing there. So, a good stat there from the FanDuel Sports Network, formerly known as Bally. That's a good stat there that they just shared. I'm a stat guru, and I love that. So, Marchessault's one game off from being on a 17-game point streak.
That's something.
That is something. So, yeah, there you go. Max, while we're watching this, let's do our clutch performers of the homestand. Normally, we call it the clutch performers of the week. My 3, I'm going to say it really quick. Philip Forsberg, Steven Stamkos, and Roman Josi. Not counting this game. We're counting going into this game. Those are my 3. Forsberg is pretty obvious. 5-game goal streak. I think he's got 6 points on the homestand going into this game. Stamkos has 4 points in 4 games in the homestand. He had a 3-point game against Chicago and had the game-winning shootout goal against Chicago. He had the shootout goal. But so I've liked what he's done, and then Roman Josi, just because Roman Josi up until tonight. I haven't liked his play tonight. I really have not liked what I've seen from Roman Josi, especially in the defensive zone. But going into tonight's game, I think he's a clutch performer of the homestand because he's starting to show his vintage Josi-ness when it comes to just controlling the zone, his speed, his offensive pressure. So those are my 3. Who would be your 3 clutch performers of the homestand?
I actually wasn't too far off from you, but I was going to do it in a little bit of an unconventional way. Forsberg, Steven Stamkos and Jonathan Marchessault, that top line, because they really fueled that homestand last week in the games against Vegas, especially the games against Vegas and Minnesota. Even in the game against Chicago, Forsberg had that clutch goal to tie the game up. I mean, that top line has been, outstanding, and they just got a goal just a few minutes ago too. I mean, they're continuing to do their thing, and there's a lot of problems on this Preds team right now, but by and large, that top line really isn't one of them. They're getting goals left and right. They're creating chances, and they're a big part of why the Preds, again, why they won those games on the homestand. So yeah, I would give it my clutch performance to the top line, all three of them.
Hard to argue with that. And one thing to kind of worry about for this Preds team, if we want to find plenty of things to worry about, is there's not a lot of depth scoring going on still. Outside of, Colton Sisson scored a big goal, I think, against Minnesota. You've got Svechkov scoring tonight, which was a really good looking goal. You're starting to see it here and there, but for the most part, the offense is still being carried mostly by that top line right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, the top line is the top line right now was the top six basically.
Preds going on the power play.
Yep. Oh my goodness.
Here we go.
Are they really about to do this?
And they're having a huddle. I mean, there's Ryan O'Reilly's in on it.
This team puts themselves in such a hole. I mean,
and newsflash, and I feel like I said this forever ago, but I felt like it was an hour ago when I said that the Sharks only had 11 shots on goal. Well, now they still only have 13. Oh, all right. They're working. They're doing their thing. They got the zone time. They need to be patient here. Hold the zone.
Yep.
Wait for your moment.
Okay. Come on. Oh, Phil broke the stick while shooting. Oh, wait, that wasn't his stick. Never mind. Oh,
They're holding it in, though.
Back. Still in the zone.
Yeah, they're doing what they need to do here.
They tried to do the cross at a Stamkos, and it got.
Which sometimes they try to force that too many times, man. Sometimes they do force it a lot, and teams see it. Forsberg looks so frustrated about that.
Oh yeah.
Let's see what happened here. Oh, yeah, it got deflected.
Sharks played with
Granlund. Granlund was the one that deflected that.
And then Cody Ceci played with a high stick.
Oh, okay. So it's back in the zone for the Preds. They need to win this face-off here. Stamkos takes the face-off. And
the clear.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a big. Obviously, it's a big power play, but you got to use this as momentum, if nothing else.
Absolutely.
Another clear by the Sharks. It's still crazy to me that the Preds haven't had bigger than a 3-game winning streak all year.
I know, right? Oh. Still. Oh, yes, Yossi scored. Oh my goodness.
Thank you, Yossi, for validating me a little bit there. That was just a beautiful setup, though.
Wow.
Who was the primary assister there?
I don't know.
We have a 5-5 game, everybody.
Wow.
You're like 3 seconds ahead of me. I was waiting for you to. All right, so holding in the zone. That's Rhino. That was Marchessault holding in the zone, I think. Yeah, that was Marchessault. Marchessault to Forsberg. Forsberg with the assist.
Wow.
Marchessault to Forsberg to Yossi.
Unreal.
Perfect shot.
What a roller coaster of emotions.
And that was a top shelf shot by Yossi. I mean, Georgiev had no chance at that.
Gotta be.
You're not stopping that.
You can't make this shit up.
Right?
I mean, unreal.
I mean, let's not. I mean, now we have to get ready for the downfall, right?
Yeah, really.
I mean,
This team makes no sense.
they don't.
This team makes no sense.
I'm sure a lot of people already turned off the game. I hate to say it, and I
might have if this podcast was going on because Wake basketball is playing right now, and I'm going to go double duty here in a little bit.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm keeping you from your Wake game.
No, I don't. No, I'm on here.
I didn't miss much with my team.
Right now, I think we're at halftime anyway. Right now,
what's the score in that game?
In our game, in Wake's, let's see here. It's 31-29 at halftime. Oh wait, no. Did we just get too many men on the ice penalty?
I don't know. LaRue's arguing it, but they refs never take calls back. He can argue all he wants.
He was animated. You got to be kidding me.
I mean, he needs to just go to the box, do your time. I mean, they're not going to take the call back.
Right.
Let's see. No, they're calling over the glass. They can review that, though, can't they? That's a reviewable call. I thought it was. That wasn't a good angle. Oh,
yeah,
they've got
it clearly.
They've got Shen serving the penalty, though. So
I didn't see it clearly.
Also, I do want to give. We all criticize Luke Shen constantly. I really have a lot of. My respect meter for Luke Shen went up massively when he took that fight against Foligno against the Minnesota Wild.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was
Luke Shen. The problems with Luke Shen are not really in terms of him being a culture guy. He's always good for a team culture. He can fight. He can stand up for his teammates. All of that. It's just his deficiencies on the ice everyone gets mad at. But, he's a good guy to have in locker rooms. People really overlook that.
Where do you think his trade stock is at right now, Max?
Honestly, for a team that can for a team that needs some leadership, I think he could be some help. And also, he's physical too. Teams that need leadership and physicality.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly think that Luke Shen's trade stock has, I don't want to say it's skyrocketing, but I do think it's gone up. Just in terms of there's going to be a team out there who's just going to want his body in the playoffs. I really feel that way.
Yeah, no, GMs like physical defensemen.
We've been making jokes about Luke Shen for a while, his contract is not movable. But I'm not saying the Preds are going to get what they really want out of it. I'm not saying it's going to be a return that's going to make you jump up and down. I'm not saying that at all. But you can definitely move Luke Shen if you want to. Someone will take it.
Yeah, and what did I say? Did people forget, how Steven Stamkos talked about him when he went to the Preds? I mean, Luke Shen does good things. I mean, not a lot of people like to say it, but there's a lot of really good things Luke Shen does. I mean, he has a good reputation in.
So I was confused about this. So because I missed the initial play. So Luke Shen was the person who hit the ice. Zachary LaRue hit the puck out of play. Zachary LaRue was arguing for Luke Shen that it hit the glass, and now they're challenging it.
Yeah, there was a challenge. Brooks Bratton tweeted before the commercial that we were challenging.
But hey, big props to Zachary LaRue for being animated.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I mean, that matters. I mean, I love his tenacity, and that's what for good or bad, I mean, the dude wants to win. He cares. He's emotional. And he was standing right in perfect view to see if that puck hit the glass or not. And he was adamant about it. And I would like to think he would not be that animated if he thought it didn't hit the glass.
And it's hard to tell. I honestly don't see them.
It is hard to tell. It's going to be hard to overturn it.
Yeah, I don't see them doing that, to be honest.
I mean, because it has to be definitive for them to overturn it. So,
yeah.
But either way, I do appreciate LaRue showing that kind of emotion.
Absolutely.
He cares. I mean, he treats this like it's a playoff game.
Absolutely.
That's the sign of a player who has a bright future. As long as he can keep his discipline in order, he's got a bright future. And I think he handled the Minnesota game very well.
I think he really did well.
He didn't do so great in the fight, But you know what? And I respected what Yakov Trenin said, and because I watched the Minnesota Wild broadcast because I wanted to see what, and I watched the first intermission report, and I watched the interview with Yakov Trenin in the first intermission after their fight, and Trenin literally said, he was like, "Look, it's behind us now. We did what we had to do. Now we have to play a hockey game. It's behind us."
Yep.
And
there weren't very many fights after the first period.
And I respect that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't blame the Wild for responding the way they did. I thought it was a hard-nosed hockey game. You know, like they got their business aired out. They aired out their dirty laundry. Zachary Leroux puts it behind him now. He knew it was coming. He knew they were going to come after him. And he's going to have a target on him for the rest of his career for sure. Yeah. Teams are going to come after him.
Absolutely.
Because they know how he plays. Man, and as long as he can handle it, he'll be fine.
And they're taking forever for this replay.
I know. That leads me to think that they might be thinking about overturning it. If it's taking this long.
Or they're trying to find any angle they can. They just can't.
I mean, if they're taking this long to decide on it.
It's probably not a great sign. Well, here we go.
He's coming out.
Yeah, there we go.
I feel like Luke Shin just got out of timeout. They were like,
you got the get out of jail free card.
And he was like, you can cut. It was just funny the way to watch him like step out of the box like that. It just looked funny. All right. So good on LaRue for calling it out though.
Absolutely.
Those are like the intangibles that you love from a player.
What?
That's a big call there. That's a because I don't think the Preds penalty kills looked very good tonight, to be quite honest.
Not tonight.
So that could have been a momentum shifter if you would have put the Sharks on the power play.
Yep.
The Sharks have 6 shots on goal since the first period. They have 1 in this third period.
Wow. Insane.
But they are 1 for 4 on the power play. Preds are 2 for 3 on the power play tonight. So here we go. All right. So, I mean, the Preds just have to keep winning battles. They flipped the momentum of this game. It's undoubtedly.
Absolutely.
So, Sissons is battling up the boards. They're working the cycle. That's what they do. They win puck battles. That's the Andrew Burnett system. You see Cole Smith out there. It's good to have Cole Smith back. I mean, I know he's not a game changer. I know he's not doesn't move the needle a ton, but I am happy to have Cole Smith back because he plays hard minutes.
Absolutely. Offside. Oh, was it? Yeah, that definitely was. Okay, never mind.
All right, we got some time here, and if this goes to overtime, we really got to kill some time.
Yep.
Let's see. I was looking at some milestones for the Preds that are happening, and there's some good ones, and I'm going to pull them up now while we're watching this period. Max will keep an eye on it while I pull it up. But the Preds have some pretty cool individual milestones that are happening right now that I want to bring up to everybody to update. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I like what they were doing there.
Yep.
I like the idea. You got Novak skating with some confidence, drop pass. Oh,
yes! Yes, it is!
Blankenberg.
Wow. No way.
That was Tommy Novak orchestrating that offense, too. Look at Nick Blankenberg go. Look at the smile on his face.
Wow. Talk
about Nick. Max, you've been talking about Nick Blankenberg for a while.
Oh, yeah.
One of the surprises of the season for the Preds. That dude's got some flashy good offense, sneaky good offense. He snuck that past Gorgiev. I thought Gorgiev maybe should have stopped that, but we'll take it.
Unreal what's happening.
Preds want more. Preds want more. Oh, that was almost goal number 7. Oh, what is going on here? This is
crazy.
I mean, this is just nuts right now. And you're seeing the young guys get involved. Svechkov there's in there. This isn't just the top line carrying us tonight, the offense, Max.
No, I mean,
oh, look at the catfish. That was it was a fake catfish, but someone was lifting the catfish over their head. Shout out to you. Wow.
Unreal.
That was Tommy Novak, though, and I was saying it in real time. He was owning the zone, and he created that play there. It's good to see Tommy Novak making plays happen. So as we know, Philip Forsberg just passed 300 goals recently. He's up to 302 career goals. When it comes to the all-time points list for the Preds, Colton Sissons remains number 3 among active players. He's up to 210 points. Colton Sissons, his next point will tie him with Calle Jarnkrok for 23rd all-time on the Preds list. How about games played all-time for the Preds? Roman Josi is just 6 games shy of tying David Legwand for most games played in Preds history. Did you know about that one, Max, coming up?
Say again now.
Roman Josi will tie David Legwand for the most games played in Preds history. He just needs 6 more games.
There you go.
So a career of longevity for the captain. Number 3 on that list is Shea Weber, but Philip Forsberg's number 4. Before the season ends, Philip Forsberg will pass Shea Weber for games played. And then what about power play goals? Philip Forsberg just recently passed Shea Weber for the all-time lead in power play goals for the Preds. 81 career power play goals for Forsberg. Weber has 80. So just some Preds stats there. And then, I like to always compare Saros to Josi, or to Rene, I should say, just in terms of where they were at certain points in their career, because we always look at Pekka Rinne as the GOAT, and he is the GOAT. But Saros and Pekka Rinne have almost the exact same save percentage in their careers. Pekka Rinne had a .917 save percentage, and Saros currently has a .916 career save percentage. That's pretty – that they're separated by 1 percentage point, Max.
It's insane.
That's pretty crazy. And we got to think that Saros has a lot of years left. I think that Saros, if you're just making me guess right now, I would say that Saros has a really good chance to eventually pass Pekka Rinne in wins, shutouts maybe. Like, it's all a matter of how long he sticks around in the league. But if he plays out his contract with the Preds, he will pass Pekka Rinne in all of those categories. But, the biggest milestone, of course, is Philip Forsberg hitting 300 goals. Pretty cool stuff.
Yep.
All right, we're coming up on 10 minutes left here. Preds have taken the 6-5 lead. They were down 5-1. 5 unanswered goals for the Preds, but the work's not done here, as we know. And the Sharks, they are probably – whoa! What was that? Oh, that's the wave.
Yep.
The wave threw me off. I didn't know why the fans were getting up. They still do the wave? So I think the way this game ends here is the Preds have to guard against – they have to really be careful about pinching deep into the zone. They've got to avoid what happened to open this game, which is letting the offense get behind them. And that's what the Sharks are doing right here. The Sharks have speed. They might not have all the talent. And did the Sharks just score?
Nope, they didn't.
The Sharks might not have all the talent, but they have the speed. What about Justus Onninen's play, though? I mean, he's given up just one goal since he came in. Now, he hasn't faced a lot of shots either, but
let's see here.
Who does your team have tonight? Wake Forest.
What do you say?
Who does Wake Forest have tonight? Who are you guys playing?
North Carolina.
Oh, how's North Carolina these days? Are they the same?
Not really.
Stature they used to be?
Not really.
ACC basketball, though, man. I mean, it's just every night you're up against someone good, probably.
Yep.
All right. Got some comments rolling in here. Let's see what's going on here. Yes. Redemption is saying, did I not call it?
You were talking about the reference to the Vegas game when we came back last year.
Kevin jumps on here and says, you guys got Sharks plus 1.5. I did not. I did not bet on the game, but I think the Sharks money line bettors are sweating right now because they thought they were about to win a lot of money tonight. When it was 5-1, they were feeling pretty good. But Kevin, thanks for jumping in on YouTube. We appreciate you. Justin jumps in with the smiley face emoji. Good to see you, Justin. Oh, Eric's looking pretty dumb with that right now. That's just not even fair. That's rude, Eric. San Jose win with a heart and a flame, and Nashville with the poop emojis.
We'll see if that ages well.
Eric, that is just rude. But we thank you for your comment either way. All right. All right, here we go. Under 10 minutes to go. This game has been such a freaking roller coaster of up and down loops, and I feel like there's one more dramatic change of emotion left in this game. I hate to say this, but it just San Jose's playing with like reckless abandonment right now. Like they just, and I don't like they're just whoa. Now that was another turnover by Nashville. But Justus Oninen steps up and makes the save. That could have easily been a goal right there.
Yep.
All right. Slow it down a little bit, guys. I'm going to check some other NHL scores tonight. We got a busy night in the NHL, so let's look at what else is happening in the league. We got the Hurricanes up 2-1 on the Stars late in the third period. We got the Capitals up on the Oilers midway second period, 2-1. Sabres and the Canucks early on. They're tied 0-0.
Oh, no.
Don't say oh to no. Oh, yeah. We got a, 3-on-3. Oh. Oh. We got the Panthers and the Ducks tie 1-1. Canadians beat the Lightning 3-2. How about the Canadians, Max?
They're hot.
They're really hot right now, and they were not supposed to be very good this year. So they beat the Lightning 3-2. The Rangers beat the Senators 5-0. Flyers beat the Red Wings 2-1 in overtime. We're going to keep an eye on that Hurricanes Stars game. It's 2-1. Hurricanes are leading, but the Stars have emptied the net. So I want to keep an eye on that one for sure. And then Capitals Oilers might be the game of the night as far as just matchup wise. This might actually be the game of the night, though, when you want to talk about most exciting.
Oh, yeah, it's got to be.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Tommy Novak. Tommy Novak's playing with some serious confidence tonight.
Almost have one in front there.
Good. Hey, I like the idea of Svechkov, though. That backhand pass from Svechkov, I like his thinking. Like, he's playing with a lot of vision. He's playing like a veteran right now. I love it. I think Justin Barron has atoned for some of his mistakes tonight.
I like what Justin Barron's done, at least on the offensive side. Defensively, maybe not as much, but I think he's shown some good stuff offensively.
I mean, you got to think Justin Barron has basically been the replacement of Alexander Carrier.
Yeah, well, he was traded 1-for-1 for him.
Yeah, so, I mean, do we think we have – I mean, I think Carrier is probably a better defensive defenseman than Barron.
I mean, there's a lot of offensive qualities that Barron has that Carey doesn't have.
Exactly. So it remains to be seen. I
still don't love that the trade was done just 1-for-1 like that, but I like the potential that Barron's shown.
My buddy Dylan just texted me. I didn't see it until recently, but when it was 5-1, he said, "What the hell is going on with the Preds, man?" He hasn't texted me since then. I'm going to say 6-5 comeback, baby. See what he says about that. He's a Lightning fan, but it's okay. I should ask him what the hell happened to the Lightning losing to the Canadiens.
Oh yeah, they lost tonight.
All right, there you go. Hey, just keep putting pressure. Hey, it's been a rough go for Georgiev too since joining the Sharks.
He has. Yeah, I mean, he's getting lit up. He already had weaknesses to begin with. Now on a team like the Sharks, getting lit up.
I mean, but Askarov has looked pretty damn good.
He has.
I know
we'll probably see him on Thursday night.
We will.
Most likely. Oh. Puck's still loose. Where is it? Still loose. Where is it?
Oh, crazy chaos. What is going on? How did that puck not go in?
How did that not at least get frozen is my question.
Yeah. This is good though. This is what you want. If you're the Preds, you're pushing back. You're not resting on your laurels here. You're not satisfied being
keep pushing.
This is what you want to see here. I mean, whoa.
Uh-oh. No. Oh, okay, wide.
Yeah, you're like 2 or 3 seconds ahead of me.
Yeah, we're officially. Oh man. These next few minutes.
I think you can clearly see, folks, that we are not on Team Tank. We still want the Preds to win. Oh. Sharks still only have 17 shots on goal for the whole game.
Yeah, that's insane. A lot of those came within the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, final commercial of the game coming up on.
What'd they just call there?
It was they played with a high stick.
Okay. I mean, you still don't have a lot of good faith coming out of this game in terms of can this team compete with the top dogs constantly?
Right.
But, in the end, 2 points are 2 points. And the Preds cannot they have to have a long winning streak.
But I mean, if we're being real, this team does better against really good teams and bad against. And what's also kind of crazy about this is the Preds have the easiest remaining schedule, which should mean encouraging stuff. But do they just keep?
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. They do. They have the easiest remaining schedule. Strength of schedule remaining right now among all NHL teams.
Crazy.
Now, I know that doesn't mean anything really, but still, they did have a front-loaded, very difficult schedule. And, I mean, you look at their resume of wins. I know they don't have nearly enough wins to be satisfied, but they've beaten Dallas. They've beaten Winnipeg. They've beaten Minnesota. They've actually beaten every team in the Central Division except for St. Louis.
It's crazy. I think they've only played St. Louis once, though.
Yeah. And that was a pretty nightmare game, too.
Yeah, it was.
But, yeah. I mean, so it's not like they haven't proven that they can beat really good teams. They've also lost badly to a lot of good teams this year. They've also got 7 overtime losses this year. which you wonder if they could have flipped those overtime losses and gotten an extra point in a few of those games. Even 2 or 3 points gives you a completely different outlook.
Yeah. All right.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
We're about to start again.
Good stuff there, showing some of Justus Onninen's saves. I know he hasn't faced a ton of shots, but the saves he's made have been very, very high quality. It kind of would have been fun to see a Justus Onninen versus Yaroslav Askarov matchup. Wonder who Brunette starts in San Jose. That's a tough call.
Probably Saros.
You think he starts Saros?
Yeah. Especially after tonight where he effectively got the night off. I would think so.
I mean, you're probably right, but I don't think it's that cut and dry, especially considering how good Justus Onninen looks right now.
I'd be surprised if it wasn't.
Why would you not ride the hot goalie?
If it wasn't Saros.
I'm just thinking, why not ride the hot goalie? It's not a back-to-back. You get a day off tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't see them sitting Saros like two straight games. Could be wrong, but I don't see it.
But they didn't technically sit him tonight. He just had a rough night. I think
he still didn't play.
Give him a reset.
I still think they're going to take that into account.
You're probably right. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just like, I'm in my head, I'm thinking I'm not totally against it if they did that.
I mean, I wouldn't hate it either, but I just don't see them going back to.
I mean, look at Onninen right now. I mean, the dude's balling out, and I'm probably jinxing him. He's about to give up one, but he is. He's balling out right now, and that's a tough save. Another glove save. He did leave the rebound out there, but look at Stamkos diving to clear that zone. These guys are leaving it out there right now. I do respect them for that. They had a horrible start, and it was garbage. It was like I was ready to just – you heard us at the beginning of this episode. We were done.
Oh, yeah, no, I was about ready to check out.
We were wondering why we're even doing this episode with the way this thing started. 3 minutes and 40 seconds left now. Still 6-5. 40 shots on goal now for the Preds tonight.
I kind of just want the Preds to run out the rest of the clock here if we can.
I mean, at this point, I think you need to – I hate the word prevent defense, but you definitely need to play smart here and not take unnecessary risk. Another save there for Justus Onninen. It was a pretty easy save, but he makes another one. Dude's locked in.
Yeah.
Another good glove save. Probably not doing it justice. That was probably actually a pretty difficult save. They're probably going to pull the goalie, I would think, soon.
Soonish, yeah.
Especially if they have zone time here. Oh, they almost had the breakaway there. Max is thinking, please don't let this go to overtime.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how long I'll stick around if it goes to overtime, but we'll see.
Well, luckily in today's NHL, overtime goes by pretty quick.
True, but let's not have that happen.
Let's not let it happen. Yeah, I'm okay with it just not happening.
I can't afford this to go to overtime right now.
Let's get this home. 10 saves this period for Justus Onninen, it says. Looks like if they win this faceoff, I think the Sharks are going to pull their goalie.
Well, it wasn't a well, I guess. Here we go.
Oh, okay. Preds break it out. Oh, here we go. Oh, God, man. Another save from Onninen. He left another rebound out there, but he makes a save. Big pad save. Oh, empty netter.
Oh,
Did he miss it?
he did. Oh, you're kidding me.
Who was that?
I don't know.
Oh, man. That's going to come back and bite us.
I could totally see that.
That's not the first time this season the Preds have missed an empty net goal.
Oh.
Sharks have possession.
Uh-oh.
They're throwing everything at Eustace Onanen right now. This is going to be the longest 90 seconds.
Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, come on. Oh. Yes! Yes!
Did it go in?
Yes! You got it.
Is that Forsberg?
Yes.
Oh, and the goal streak lives on. That's a 6-game goal streak, Max.
There we go.
Let's see how this thing unfolded. Oh, he just chipped it up there. He like wedged that in there like a golf shot. All right. What a block. Justin Barron. Hey, your boy, Max. Justin Barron with a big block shot there.
Yeah, Justin Barron maybe is really atoning for what happened in the beginning of that first period.
That was a big-time block shot for him.
Crazy.
6 goals unanswered for the Preds, everybody. 5-1 down. In fact, they were down 3-1. Gave up 2 more to the Sharks to make it 5-1.
It was 3-0 at one point.
Yeah, it was 3-0. Then Tommy Novak scored, made it 3-1. Sharks had it 5-1. And now it's 7-5. All right, folks. With that said, let's check the comments one more time before we get out of here. Redemption says 7-5. Bang. Let's answer. Kevin on YouTube says, what do you guys think about the Leafs this year? Kevin.
Ask me in the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say the same thing. The Leafs are a great regular season team until they can prove it in the playoffs. And I'm not saying win a first-round series. The Leafs, show me what you can do against, like any of the Eastern Conference teams. But really, I need to see what they can do in the playoffs. I'm not really interested in what the Leafs do in the regular season.
Yeah.
They're a good team. They're going to make the playoffs.
And that's it.
That's a final. Preds have won 4 in a row.
Unreal.
They come back down from 5-1. First 4-goal comeback in franchise history.
Wow. Unreal.
Wow.
Yeah.
I kind of feel for the Sharks. I do.
You're like, I'll take this for us.
Biggest comeback in franchise history for the Preds. Watchalong episode 259, Catfish and Ice, brought to you by DraftKings and also brought to you by Game Time. Subscribe on YouTube. Thank you for joining us on the Watchalong. This has been Chad Minton with Max Greenberg. Take care, everybody.
See you guys later.
4 in a row. See you later.
Yes, sir.